Paintball is a sport filled with fun, friends, adrenaline, and sometimes even frustration. Don't be that guy on the sidelines because your equipment failed you. Be that guy out there sewing faces that most players envy. I'm Tony from Lone Wolf Paintball. Today, we are going to dive into the importance of gun maintenance. But before I do that, wait until the end. I'm going to take this bad boy outside and give it a rip. So, whoo, baby, yes, we are going to take this beautiful Axe 2.0 outside after I do a little bolt maintenance to it, talk about the importance. So, why is maintenance important to you and your marker? Most importantly for me, it is the lifespan of the marker. Overall, if you guys rebuild your bolt system and make sure your marker is clean after every single time you play with it, the gun will last you a very, very long time. I cannot see the amount of guns that I have come across in the years of in the tech and even at the field that these guys, even one maybe behind the camera right now, they go out and play, their gun is absolutely filthy, they throw it in their gear bag and they forget about it until next time. Well, unfortunately, next time comes and their gun is still full of all broken paint or dirt, mud, and grime that was left from the previous playing time, and their gun does not fail. So please don't let yourself down. Don't let your teammates down. Do maintenance on your marker. So today, that is why it's important. You always want it to work. Don't be stuck on the sidelines, fiddling and fumbling in the tent because your marker does not work. So today, Axe 2.0, as you guys have already seen, and I also have a Tippmann 98 Custom. Just importance of general basic maintenance, so let's dive on in.
I'd like to point out that mine shoot better dirty. It's a proven fact.
Yours shoot better dirty.
I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, I am very particular. I'm not saying you guys have to do the maintenance every single time, but at least every other time. Don't go all season long without cleaning or relieving your marker. So classic Tippmann 98 Custom. If you guys are not rocking something electronic, either a spool valve or inline poppet like the Axe, or like a lever valve like the LV2 by Planet, something very simple, very basic, true pneumatic marker, hammer and sear operation, no electronics whatsoever. So you get your Tippmann 98 Custom. This thing's a tank. Yes, you've used it many times. You can pretty much dig trenches with this thing. It'll last you forever. But where do I oil it? Where do I maintenance it? If you want a full breakdown, we've already got a video done on that for you. But something similar, if you do have a marker like this, hammer, there is an O-ring that sits back here on the hammer. So what you would do, you would either grab your lube or your oil. What I would say here for the 98 Custom, I wouldn't use like a Planet Eclipse grease on this marker, just due to the fact that these are more spool valve per se. So grab your oil, a couple drops right here on the actual hammer area. There's an O-ring that sits on your hammer right there. A couple drops in there every, time or two you play with it should keep you rocking out there on the field. These guns right here are absolute tanks. But if you have something more a little bit finicky, an electronic spool valve marker that is doing a lot of cycles, something like the Empire Axe 2.0, of course you're going to want to pop the bolt open and take a look and see, what's inside. You guys have been playing all day long. A lot of fields aren't blessed, with turf. A lot of fields are dirt, mud, sand, and grime. And guess what? When you guys are diving, sliding, and crawling around, all of that dirt, sand, and grime is getting into your marker. So pulling out the bolt of the Empire Axe 2.0, it's a simple push button here in the back. A lot of the markers out there are toolless now, up and out, or you can take the bolts out by hand. So I'll just set the body of that off. So this is my main focus. So obviously this thing is seeing a lot of cycles. We need to focus on moving parts. What is moving every time I pull the trigger on my paintball gun? For me, on the Axe 2.0, it's going to be my bolt in the bolt guide. So obviously this is constant, this is dynamic here. So I would focus on those O-rings, and you guys always make sure before you hop into your maintenance, gather all of your necessities. Gather your microfiber that you guys are gonna need to remove any dirt, grime, or old lube and to wipe it off. So microfiber, grab a set of your dental picks. These are always very, very helpful. Dental picks to get up underneath that O-ring to replace it or at least clean it and relube it. And then of course, either your grease or your oil. So you either need one of these, whether if you're rocking something truly like pneumatic, like a 98 Custom, HK Sabre, something like that, oil, and then grease obviously meant for the spool valve operated markers. And then of course, if you guys need to, maybe like a pair of needle nose pliers. If you guys can't really get hold of a good O-ring, you can pinch it with needle nose. So let's just take a quick look at the bolt guide. I'm going to clean all of this old nasty lube off of this. Take a look at the O-rings, make sure they're in good condition, no nicks or dents, and then we'll relube it. We're going to take this sucker outside and shoot it. So once again, this video wasn't how to maintain an Axe 2.0 or a 98 Custom. We've done those videos. If you want the full breakdown, go check those out. This one is the importance of general maintenance. A lot of you guys are new players out there, and how often should I? I do it after every time I play. So what I do, I come through, I got a dirty microfiber here, and I take a look. My bolt guide, obviously that is a dynamic, so it's constantly being moved upon. So I'm gonna look in there, and obviously this is a brand new one off the wall, but if this was your marker that you have played with all day, you would notice there would be probably paint shells in there, or some broken paint if you did break any, dirt, dust, and grime. So take a look at all of your O-rings. I'd grab a dental pick, try to get in there and at least get one of these off and make sure that there is no dings, dents, or anything obstructing the actual O-ring itself. So you can take a look around there. And just overall too, look at your bolt. So I could even pop this spring off. Let me get a hold of this bad boy.
Now,
so
does that spring go on only one way? Just
this spring for the Empire Mini GS and the Empire Axe 2.0 only go on one way. So when you do pop that spring off, that is a good question, Fitz. Make sure it goes on and it actually it has to snap into place. So let me just make sure. Yep, so now it clicks. If you did it the other way, the other end of the spring is too wide and it will not click into place.
So it was general maintenance. I was just trying to trip you up.
No, I feel you. I'm just showing them. So now I flipped it over, and this, it won't clip into place. You have to flip the spring back around the proper way, get it to clip in. So anyways, looking on, but good point there, Fitz.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyways, the O-rings obviously are looking good. Let's replace this. Caesar always said he likes to put his Ultra Silk underneath the O-rings. I don't know the all truth on that, but old school way of here, I'm going to make...
You're telling me you don't put it underneath?
I don't personally put it underneath, but that's just his way, and he's teched a lot of guns for a long time. So pretty much...
Somebody woke up and chose violence in the office today.
100%. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So what we're going to do, we're just going to make sure we got a nice little coating of grease on this bolt guide here. Just a little thin coating. You don't want too much on the actual bolt guide itself, and then you want it nice. Obviously nice and smooth to be able to rock. And if you guys put too much, you're gonna know your gun will kind of bog down. A lot of people like to just overload this system with grease, and it's just too much and your gun is not gonna perform properly. Little thin coat on your finger, rub it around the O-rings, make sure they're nice and covered, and then make sure you got a nice smooth glide. And let's pop that sucker in. Fitz, before we take this outside, would you like to know anything else?
Wiping down the outside, just microfiber.
100%, yeah, just general. Obviously, if you guys are in quick pit access, yes, just a standard microfiber will work for a wipe down just on the outside. And of course, I would recommend any regulator stuff. Probably 15 cases or so, guys. So if you really need to dive deep into your regulator system on your marker, obviously there's a full online schematic of all that good stuff. So if you wanted to know, oh, well, what happens if I take it apart and I get too far? All the manufacturers out there have schematics of their markers, so if you need to dive into something a little bit more technical, always make sure to check those out. So enough of me blabbing on. Let's take this bad boy outside and give it a rip. I have the beautiful Empire Axe 2.0. Bolt has been, looked through, gone through. We're going to see this bad boy rip. Let's go. That thing's a beast. Let's give Ultra Silk some love. That boy is ball on ball, baby. And that's it. That's all the balls I got. LoneWolfPaintball.com.